Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Four Dads Podcast with your host Don Julio and myself, Tees. A little late on this podcast, but it was going to happen regardless. We were going to do it. We just had some work, life, things happened. Weren't able to get it in, but we had to talk about the Masters. We had to talk about what happened, as well as other things that have happened in the golf world over the last about week and a half since our last podcast. But Don Julio, off the top of your head, what has stood out with you the most for the Masters?
Honestly, Max Homa's performance. I was really pulling for him. I was hoping he was gonna kind of put something together. Bryson played really well too. I think the way that he played and struck the ball, um, it's about to be really good for Brandon and the club company. Just reading some stuff on what is it, WFG, um, and stuff like that. It's like everyone's talking in the comments about like how do you get a pair? How do I get some of these, like, how does 3D printing
Mm-hmm.
ultimately kind of better the golf club? And even my dad and I, we had a discussion about it, and I was telling him, I was like, well, think about it, like 3D printing kind of expands the sweet spot and makes the face a little bit hotter,
Just
right?
like they say
So
for LA Golf, I think with their
yeah,
putters, right? They
exactly.
say that, yeah. So,
Yep. So I was like, when you think about a traditional golf club that's forged with either cast iron or forged iron, the sweet spot's the size of a dime. It's been that
mm-hmm.
way for forever. And I was like, now you're talking about really maximizing the face and kind of tightening up the dispersion,
Mm-hmm.
giving people the opportunity to really, one, get the ball in the air
Mm-hmm.
and kind of minimize their miss. So I was like, it's gonna be pretty interesting for everyone.
Yeah, dude. Tomorrow I'm going to the driving range. I'm actually going to try out some of those clubs. I was like, I really want to try these things out. I'm going to make a little video, talk about them a little bit, see how they feel, get my numbers up using the Mevo. Um, but yeah, dude, like that was crazy. The first round, I was like if you followed us on Twitter, I literally was like, everyone that commented on how good Bryson's doing or whatever, I'm like, it's the irons. It's the new irons. It's the new irons. It's probably the new irons. Check out his new irons. And then, like, I think the next day, Liv posted, like, what was in the bag or whatever, and they put, like, Avoda, and I sent it to Brandon. I'm like, dude, you guys got to get a Twitter. At least just create an account to, like, block that name. So, like, no one takes Avoda Golf because it's not used, I don't think, as of right now. And if Bryson wouldn't have SHIT the bet on chipping and putting over the next 3 days, he would have potentially had that jacket, but he did not. He putted insanely on the first round and then just couldn't keep it going in the second. His iron shots were good, but also the wind didn't help too much. But my buddy Brandon I was like, I saw him on Tuesday or no, Wednesday. I was like, hey, how'd you guys exposure? I kept following the page, seeing the video, how many views is up to. It's up to like 20,000 now. They probably got like over 1,000 extra subs. I posted something on our YouTube page of like the round that I play with him. We were talking about the irons before the Masters. Like these are actually the Avoda Golf irons that he's playing with right now. And
Yeah.
someone commented, and they're like, just bought a pair, just bought a set. I can't wait. Brandon said they got over like 100 plus orders, which isn't crazy, but like it's for a company that had like no one really, not too many people knew about it. Like that's insane. He said he's probably gonna have to put in like an $80,000 order for LA golf shafts. Um, and dude, I'm really excited to check them out because they do combo length. Have you seen combo length? Have you heard of combo length before?
No, I haven't.
They only do combo length or unless it's custom combo length or same iron, same length shaft like Bryson does. But the combo length I was looking up, it's the same shaft length of an 8 iron or a 9 iron, excuse me, for your 8 through pitching wedge, and the rest of the irons are the same lengths, but or sorry, the traditional length, should I say, and the 8 through pitching wedge are all the exact same length to give you that same angle of attack that you don't have to change your swing just a tad, just get used to that swing. So it's really interesting. If I'm able to get something off of them, I might look into that eventually because if the sweet spot's bigger, I am all for that. I'm all for that. Um, but yeah, I mean, Bryson played good round one. Didn't really play too well over the next few rounds. Held it together in round 2. That was a tough one, but after that, just kind of fell off a little bit. But it was nice to see Max Homa, like you said, make a cut, stay in contention. You know, I was able to double my bets on DraftKings. Put in 35 cents, 170. Woo-hoo-hoo.
There you
Not
go.
bad, not bad. But Scotty, man, he just was not missing iron shots, man. He was just
That's
stroking the crap out of the ball.
yeah. Yeah, that's something that I wanted to I like when you talked about Bryson in like the last day, right? It seemed like everyone was pressing. Like everybody's shot was like, dude, Scotty's behind us. We need to make the shot really good because he's gonna make a birdie. He's
Mm-hmm.
gonna make a birdie. He's gonna make a par. Like we need to minimize how bad our miss is. And dude, it's I don't know, man. A lot of people are talking right now with just I mean it like let's go back into that. Like it's even crazier to think that he was telling everyone, if my wife goes into labor, like I'm not playing tomorrow. Like I don't care.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes into Sunday just very calm, cool, and collected, like ready to bounce at any minute. And he's just out there just playing golf. And I mean, just honestly, what did he win by? He won by 4 strokes.
Like 3 to 4, dude. It was freaking insane. It was
Yeah,
like, I don't know. I mean, like, what was also crazy was Scott. I think as of right now, I saw somewhere, and I'm trying to find it right now on my Twitter feed, and I'm probably not gonna be able to. Um, Scotty hasn't shot more than a 4 on a hole in like 60 straight holes.
yep. Yeah,
Insane.
I saw that today.
Freaking crazy. Like, and he's leading right now. I think the RBC Heritage Classic uh is delayed and they're going to finish it up tomorrow because of weather. But what's also a little fun little fact, RBC Heritage, the golf pro there, I grew up with in San Luis Obispo. I probably mentioned it before, probably the last time every year at RBC Heritage pops up at Harbor Town. I'm going to mention it. But this kid that I grew up with, Michael Conley, played travel ball. I think he was a year older than me, but graduated 08 at So High. Played baseball, travel ball, baseball, all that stuff, all throughout elementary, middle school, and I think freshman, sophomore year of high school. And then played soccer his freshman year, the only kid to make varsity, and didn't play baseball, didn't play golf. And then all of a sudden, 5 years ago, I'm like, I suggested friend, and I'm like, okay, he golfs now, cool. Oh, he works at that looks like a professional PGA course. Harbor Town? You're the assistant pro at Harbor Town? It's like, yeah, I'm gonna get the head position when the guy retires like next year. And I'm like, what? I did not know you golfed. Like such a small freaking town, especially with how like prestigious that golf course is. Um,
Yeah,
but I mean that we'll talk more about the RBC Heritage, on our next podcast. But that course just looks so difficult because of how secluded it is by trees, and you just don't have much of angles.
March.
You just
Yeah,
it's just difficult.
yeah, man. Again, kind of going back to the Masters, it's like there's a lot of people that were making some moves, kind of
Mhm.
early on. I mean, like I think Colin was
Colin
Markel out there too.
Morikawa did for a
Yeah,
bit, and then he had I
yeah,
think he was he playing with Scotty, and then like Scotty like freaked him out by like just I don't know, like if it was like one of those mental shots, where he just had a great shot and it just like spooked
yeah,
him, and he just
yeah. He
dropped a shot
bended.
or two.
Yeah, he like bend. I think it was a shot where Scotty on the par five, he bended it or he bent it around the corner, got into the green, and it was just a miraculous shot.
Dude, and I think Colin, he had 2 shots out of the bunker. He didn't hit it out of 1, and then
Yeah,
he dropped a few shots, and then I mean, all the memes that were coming out, dude, over the next few days after the Masters, do you see those of just, like, people trying to, like, do the Scotty Scheffler and, like, breaking their ankles?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that from the Bogey Wogey boys.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
the guy's like, the guy's like on the tee box, like, yeah, I've been working on this new swing. He's like, it's pure, dude. And all of a sudden, he's just like, oh, and you keep hearing like the cracking of his ankle.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I personally think, and I might be a little late on this to kind of come and say it, but I think Scotty Scheffler is probably going to be one of the best golfers of our generation,
Oh yeah.
um, for sure. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like he's just on another level right now. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's exciting to see any player of this newer generation really kind of catch heat because we've all
Mm-hmm.
been spoiled by Tiger
Tiger.
Woods and kind of
Mm-hmm.
what he's done in dominating the game. So to
Mm-hmm.
see someone else come in who just kind of has like
We've been waiting for it, you
different,
know.
yeah, we've been waiting for it. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, what do you think he's gonna do? I mean, do you think what he's doing is
I
how
think
do
he
you?
has
I
it.
mean, well,
The
here's my question.
Go for
Here's
it.
my
Go for it.
question. Hold on. Do you think that this like he could be a player who ends up re-revolutionizing golf like
Mm,
Tiger?
I don't know about re-revolutionizing because of what Tiger did and what a bar he put up there. But I think that Scotty will be flirting with Tiger Woods, but potentially like 12, 13 majors. I think he is bringing back uh, I think it was Arnold Palmer who said it best, like swing or swing. Don't try to emulate someone else's swing. Just swing
Yeah,
the swing that's yours. And that's what Scotty's doing. The way that
yeah,
Scotty handles golf in general. I'm gonna leave if my wife is going into labor. If I'm winning the Masters and the last day, I don't care. If I get that call 5 minutes before tea time, I'm gonna withdraw. I can always win it. Like that kind of mentality is. I think he said what like golf is now going to be fourth on my list of like priorities because of my child is going to be. It's like God, wife, his son, and then like golf or whatever.
hmm,
And with that kind of mentality, with how well he's playing, that just shows that he is not putting that much pressure on him. I think the most pressure he ever had, I think it was the year that he won the Masters, the day going into Sunday.
yeah,
And I forget what his wife said to him, but it was something that just really calmed him down. Like it's like, well, what happens if you don't? Like, who cares? Like you can do it. Like, but nothing's gonna change. Like, I'm still gonna love you. You know, it doesn't really
hmm,
matter. And the way he's going about that without the pressure, and just seems like he's out there. Like his laser focus is insane. Did you see him like walking off of the golf course? Everyone's waiting for like those high fives, and he's just beelining it. Probably at the time to go to a phone to find out if his wife was going into labor or something like that. But like his
yeah,
focus is insane. Like you saw it the first time he won the Masters. He literally was like, I let my focus down and let my guard down a bit on the final walk down 18, and you saw it on like my 4 putt within like 5 feet because I was just like, hey, let's just soak this in. You're up 7 strokes or whatever, like just soak it
yeah,
in. There's no way. And then he's just like, oh my gosh, I keep missing these putts. But like,
yeah.
I mean, what do you think? Do you think he'll get reach double digits in majors and what do you think he'll do for the game besides what I
I
kind of
mean,
mentioned?
I'm gonna say it because I think it's true. I think with a lot of the players who have gone to live, him hitting double digits in majors and wins is definitely possible.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, dude, I mean, let's just be honest. The PGA is not as
Mm-mm.
competition loaded as what it was before. I mean,
No
DJ can
way.
still get after it, like John Rahm. I mean, there's a lot of Brooks Koepka. There's a lot of dudes who can still kind of get after it. And the guys who have been the most loyal, like Rory, clearly is not a threat. I mean,
Mhm.
Colin Morikawa, they spoke about him being the next Tiger. Excuse me. They spoke about him being the next Tiger, and dude, he has not lived up to the hype in any means. And
What was it, 2020 that he won both those majors, or was it 2021?
I think it was 2020.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, he just has not lived up to the hype, dude. Like, yeah, he came in hot. I mean, Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas are just kind of falling off.
Mhm,
I,
mhm.
I mean, the competitiveness just isn't there. I mean, you're seeing it with some of the new guys who are kind of coming on, but still, I just feel like this is just Scotty's tour right now, and I don't know. I mean, who's to say he just doesn't dominate the entire rest of the season?
It
Like,
would definitely be more of a shocker if he didn't dominate the rest of the season, especially
yeah,
with how his putter's been, right? Like, yeah, I agree,
yeah,
100%.
yeah. And so, that's I just again I feel like the whole division between the two leagues has definitely dropped the level of competition significantly because there's I mean think about it, dude. Like what was it uh when Brooks Koepka won the players. No, Phil, right? Like Phil came back and won the players a couple years ago, like in 2022, right? Where he won like
Oh, the PGA Championship against
yeah,
Brooks.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, that's another guy. Like you can never write some of those dudes off. Like Phil's a competitor amongst competitors.
Right.
Even Bubba Watson. I mean, these are guys like you just don't hear about anymore. But I mean, those are like OGs. Like those guys were built on something different. Where now it just seems like everyone is just so particular and so methodical about everything that they do that sometimes it like that's your worst enemy is 6 inches between the ears compared to someone who's like Scotty, where it's like, hey, I'm just gonna go out and play golf for 4 days. Like, babe,
Right.
I'll have fun.
Like, you won the Masters. What are you going to do now? Like, not this year, but I still remember like all the questions that he was asked. He's like, "What are you going to do now?" He's like, "Well, got a new garden. I got to lay the mulch, and then got to do some yard. And just being a dude." And
Yeah,
I mean, I read Up and Down Golf. I think it was Up and Down by Bubba Watson last year, and Bubba Watson was talking all about, since you brought him up, about the Masters and how he could potentially win one. Um, how when he won, it just he his head just messed with him like completely. He couldn't eat. He was depressed. There were so many things that happened after that. Like, once you reach that pinnacle, it's kind of like, now what? You know, because a lot of people, when you play a sport, you want to get to the height of it, and whatever the height of it is, if you reach that, okay, well, now what? Oh crap! Like, I got to try and do it again. Like, that was really hard, or like, it all depends on how people handle it. People handle it
yeah,
completely different, but uh, I feel like with him, if he keeps that mindset how he has, where it's just like, hey, like, I love golf, I enjoy golf, it is what I do to provide for my family, but at the end of the day, it's not who I am. That's not all I am. Like, that's rare, because I'm sure
hmm
Brooks Koepka is the exact opposite. Like, that's all I do. All I do is golf. Roy McIlroy. That's all I do. That's all I care about. Nothing else. And
yeah,
to have so much talent in somebody and use that talent and everything else with it, the work ethic and things like that, is rare.
yeah. I mean, again, dude, like just kind of looking at what's on the what's in the future for the events. I mean, right now, you know, I think he's standing alone for Scotty with the RBC Heritage right now. Then he has the AT&T Byron Nelson coming up. Another course
Texas,
that he can,
Texas
another course he
Flagship.
can just take. Yeah, he can just take advantage of. Myrtle Beach Classic, like out in Dooms, the
That'll be the
Wells
one with
Fargo
the
Championship.
YouTubers. That's the one with the YouTubers. Remember, there was one spot that they're gonna release
Yeah,
in a few weeks. That'll be awesome to see.
I mean, I think the hardest course that'll probably be the toughest for everyone is going to be Quail Hollow, right, for the Wells Fargo. Then you have the PGA Championship at
Mm,
Valhalla, right? So it's like,
yep, yep, yep.
dude, he could just go on an absolute tear on these next four tournaments leading into
Oh,
the
for
PGA
sure,
Championship.
for
Like I
sure.
just, I mean, again, just looking at the PGA Tour itself, like I just don't see there being a reason for him not to win everything right now. Everyone's chasing him, and when he's in the lead, it's kind of like you're already seeing that tiger that tiger kind of presence where it's like everyone's kind of shaking in their boots. Everyone tries to press a little bit more,
Yeah,
because they want to, excuse me, they want to catch him, and they're being more aggressive than what they normally would be. I mean, think about back at the Arnold Palmer. Like, dude, he held on to a one shot lead for 6 holes. For 6 holes, you're telling me Xander Schauffele could not, or Brian Harman could not get it done? Like, that's crazy.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. He's definitely one of a kind, and as long as he's able to keep it in between the ears, I think he's got a great shot to be extremely special. I mean, not many people have won two Masters.
Yeah,
Um, and he's got that second one, which I think Brooks Koepka said the most difficult thing isn't winning your first major; it's winning your second one. Because your
Yep.
first one, people will be like, "Oh, we got lucky." You could say like, what was it Justin Thomas's second major, where it's like, "Oh, we kind of got lucky." Like the guy literally just like crapped the bed,
Yeah.
on the 18th hole. But you win your second. Well, he did it back to back. And does Dustin Johnson, does he have any other majors besides the Masters? Oh, a few U.S. Opens, right, or one or two U.S.
Yeah.
Opens?
Yeah. I think
Okay.
he has a couple of U.S. Opens. But aside from all that, how was your round at River Park
Riverside.
or Riverside? Sorry, Riverside.
It
My
was
bad.
garbage. You can watch it
Why?
on you can watch it on YouTube. It is live, and I will tell you why. I did a two-man scramble with Kyle, my buddy, and Will from the Blues. And it wasn't because like we didn't play good. That wasn't it. That was not even it. We shot one under after 9 holes, which was honestly pretty terrible. We had good opportunities, just couldn't convert. But the thing that sucked was our tee time was at 122. We ended up getting out there at 140. I needed to leave by 5 o'clock for an event that we had at our little community out here. And we were behind 3 6 because they were doing their money games. And these aren't like three groups of six, like all Don Julio's out there that could actually hit the ball and get up there and move. These are guys with like 15 to 25 handicaps. And so slow. We got through 12 holes within 3 hours and like 45 minutes or whatever before I was like, I gotta go. I was so mad just sitting there, just watching it top after top after top. Like, dude, like, what are we doing here? And then like like legitimately the highlight of the day, besides obviously just golfing, and I hit some pretty nice irons. I felt really good, but um I was on the ninth hole. One of Kyle's shots went left of the ninth hole, which is by the tee box of the fifth hole, the par three that goes over the water.
Hmm.
And there was a group of guys, and they saw us filming, and they're like, "Hey, what's your guys' YouTube channel?" And I was like, "Fore Golf," and he goes, "Oh, did you make a video on Eagle Springs?" I was like, "Yeah, I did." He's like, "Oh, I watched that one." I was like, "Oh, nice, cool." Like the first time I'd ever heard that anyone seen any videos out in the golf world. I was like, "Oh, cool,
Nice.
thanks for watching." I was like, "That's pretty cool."
I know.
Um,
I got my first. I got my first. What was it? The weekend that I tried to play for that tournament. Or for the skins game. Um, yeah, for the skins game. One of the guys was like, "Dude," he's like, "Your channel's doing great," but he's like, "I don't see a lot of you on there." He's like, "How come you don't put up more videos?" And I was just like, "I don't understand." Like I said, I don't know what it is, but I was like, we just have some issues between me sharing my videos to my buddy. Like I don't
it
know,
freaking sucks, dude.
but I was like, but other than that, I was like, I got tons of footage, and he's like, dude, I think you guys would do even better if you just had a round for yourself, like just you. He's like, I've seen you put together some amazing rounds. I'm like, I mean,
Mhm.
John's not doing bad. I was like, John's playing great golf right now. Like he's doing really well compared to when we first started. But yeah, I just
But I
was like,
agree. I agree, dude. If you were to
yeah,
get someone out there with you, and like the one thing that's nice is when I play with Brandon or when I play with Kyle, and I'm not playing by myself, they record with me. Especially if we do like they're just nice guys. They'll help out. So like it's so helpful because then I can bring my legit camera and you can zoom in on the shots and it looks legit compared to like GoPro, which I like. That's fine, but like when you zoom in on the shots is really cool too to actually see where it lands instead of just being like, oh, well, this guy just drew up a shot tracer just to, make it look like a great shot. And we can't see where the ball went, right? Like, um, but that's what I like about it. And like when we play, which I can't wait, I'm super stoked to hear that we're able to, fingers crossed, get a round out with Patty O'Shea Upside Golf at Carmel Valley Ranch.
yeah,
Um, and I'm bringing that camera out. Don Julio is going to have his mic by then. He's going to actually no. I'll probably keep the other one. So I don't know. What would you want to do with Patty O'Shea? Would you just want to do like a straight up everyone just playing for themselves, or would you guys want to do like a? We'll talk later about it, but like a scramble. Would you want to do something fun to keep everyone together? Because obviously,
honestly, I would like to do kind of everyone because it'll be like my first time playing in a few years at that course.
mhm.
Um, so I would like to kind of do everyone. I mean, and plus too is like I don't want to be rude to to Patty and be like, all right, well,
Right.
hey, we're gonna do like a how low can we go type of thing.
No,
So,
I meant including him.
yeah.
I meant including him. I meant like
Oh, gotcha.
like adding him to. Yeah, obviously we wouldn't do that. It would either be
Hey,
all
and
that
Patty
or
and Patty's a stick too, dude. Like he'll shock you. That boy can play.
dude. I believe it. I believe it. I mean, you're not.
Head coach at Santa Clara golf team,
He's
competed
wait.
in some mini tours.
He is the
He
head coach
was.
currently. Oh, he was.
He
Okay.
was. He was. He
Okay.
was.
Well,
Yeah.
that'd be sick, dude. If we just did like, yeah. I mean,
Speaking of coaches, remember that guy from Arcos?
yeah.
His name?
Lou
Uh,
Stagner.
yeah, Lou Stagner.
Hmm.
What a partnership with the PGA, huh? You see that how they started using the Arcos thing, and that's all his analytics stuff that he was
Dude,
talking about. I was like, I
it's
saw that, and I was like,
insane that we
way
got
to
him
go,
on the
Lou.
podcast. That
Yeah, I
was
was like, way to go.
insane. Uh,
Especially with how early we were
we
too.
had like 4 followers on like Twitter. He could have been like, dude, you're like a troll. How do I know this is legit? Like
Yeah,
I wouldn't have with his following. But yeah, that was
yeah,
insane.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, dude, I can't wait. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be fun to play some golf with you. It's been a while. But yeah, I mean, let's see. Back to the Masters really quick. Trying to think anyone else that kind of shocked you. Shipley, watching Shipley play was pretty cool when he got to play that round with Tiger, the last round. And
Hmm.
like I was saying, dude, but I told you earlier, you were like, I don't know, Tiger, he's been really working hard. And I'm like, yeah, but the undulation of the course
Oh
and
yeah,
how
it
the
ate him
weather
up.
was, it just ate him up, man. I didn't
Hmm.
want to see it. I was rooting for the guy, but like you can tell, man.
Did you see the Barstool question? They're like, all right, we know Tiger's using KT tape, so golfers are gonna go buy KT tape now when they have surgery or when they have pains. They're like, but what is he rubbing on himself? Is it biofreeze? Is it Tiger Balm? Is it icy hot? Like who's gonna get the big name with Tiger? Who is it? Right? Like because every time his caddy took the stuff out, it was wrapped up in something that like you didn't know what
Mm,
the name was. So
gotcha.
yeah,
So they just trying to hide the logo so you couldn't see it.
yeah, because well, you have to
Uh,
remember everything that they have. There's some type of I don't know. I mean,
right.
it's
It's
some
like
type of
it's like being
branding.
sponsored by like Easton,
Yeah,
and like you use a Rawlings bat or something. You have to black it
yeah,
out or like you've covered it so
yeah.
no one can see it. But yeah, did you see him almost kill like 2 people? He killed like almost like
Hmm.
four. It was like, oh, that ball's not hooking. Oh gosh, oh, and someone just like fell down out of their
Dude,
chair.
he domed somebody, dude. He domed somebody.
Oh man.
They didn't show that, but I was well, excuse me. I'm getting over being sick, but
Mm.
he even on ESPN for the featured group, they didn't show like what happened with the interaction with the person, but apparently he like straight up nailed someone like above the
Dude,
shoulders.
that was a stinger with some pace on it, man.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
my god.
yeah,
I was like, of
for
course they're not gonna
sure.
show that for Tiger. They're not gonna make him look bad. But I mean, like, come on, like we are kind of curious. We're gonna find it on social media. This isn't the 90s anymore, where if you don't show it and you don't know the person who got hit, you're not gonna find out about it. Someone's gonna
Yeah,
post. Actually, crap, it was the Masters. So because of that, no one had phones out. Unless
yep,
someone actually tweets about it, huh?
yeah. Actually, speaking of that, I was so Rick Shields was at the Masters, or no, yeah, Rick Shields was at the Masters, and he did a food review there, and I was curious how he was able to record it
You could record it in
there.
the practice rounds. You could have your phone in the practice rounds. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Ah,
That's it.
okay, okay, yeah, because I was like, wait a minute, how like no way,
Yeah,
like
right.
how did
Well,
he
I
do
mean,
that?
you would think he couldn't do that even when he played the Masters round. Remember, he could even like take his phone out.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
actually, that's actually one thing I wanted to bring up. Um, so one thing I did look up, I was curious. I was like talking to some people on Twitter, and they're like, "Hey, like, what do you think you'd shoot at the Masters?" All this stuff, and I'm like, oh, no, actually, there's one lady who, like, apparently all the media members, all the media staff, they throw their names in a bucket, and the Masters or Augusta National, they end up picking one media member from the weekend to play one round on Monday, the day after the tournament, on them. One person every year. I think there's been some people out there that have gotten it that you might know. I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but this lady who won never played a round of golf before. This will be her first round of golf. And I was just like, dude, like that would be so nice, but they would suck so bad because you're playing the nicest course ever. But it's also probably one of the most difficult courses for anybody to play because of the lies that you're gonna have. And they're all like, oh, what do you think she's gonna shoot? And like that just made me think, okay, how different are Augusta Nationals tees from the Masters from the actual member tees? And dude, it's actually not that bad. Like you look at some of these tee boxes. So the Masters hole one plays 445, members
Hmm.
365. That's straight away 365, not bad. 575 for the first par five, 515 for the members tees. Let's see here. That 240-yard par three, the first par three on number four, is only 170 from the Masters tees, or from the members tees. Uh, Seventh hole, par four, plays 450 from the Masters. Members, 330. There are some of these holes, dude, that you're just like, okay, like it's actually not as bad. I think the difference of the actual Masters tees is 7,400 yards compared to the members tees, which is about 6,300 yards, 1,100 yards less.
But do
So
you think, here's my question though, do you think that playing from the members tees actually makes it harder because a lot of the I guess um like the trees and the out of bounds areas and like
what
maybe
comes into
where the
play kind of things?
yeah comes in quicker, especially if you're a bigger
It
hitter
might.
or even
It might.
yeah
It might play kind of like a Madeira Golf and Country Club where it doesn't really matter. It's still a difficult course regardless of where your tee box is. Um,
yeah
but I don't know. I mean, regardless, I'd love to play it both. Play it once from the members and once from. Actually, I'd like to play Masters first and then from the members. If you were to get
yeah
that opportunity, that'd be sick.
yeah.
But
I so I told you I caddied at this course called the Institute during 2020. It's owned by a couple billionaire brothers, literally their backyard, but it's now one of the most exclusive clubs here in the Bay Area.
no, wow,
Um, like Steph Curry, Michelle Wee. Oh my God, who's the guy?
Bezos.
No, not Bezos. Tom Cook, CEO of Apple, um, and some other big wigs are members out there. And when I was caddying out there, we could go play on Tuesdays. So I went out there and played, but the whole course is designed like Augusta. Like that it was the two brothers like obsession. They were like, we want a
Mm,
replica of it. So they did. And that course plays 8,100 yards from the tour tees.
wow.
And
It can't
I
anymore.
will
There's no way because that'd be the longest golf course in California.
it's 8,100 yards still. It still is, but
Well,
again, it's
how
not
does Dragonfly have it? Must be
because it's
public.
a pub. Yeah, because
Uh,
it's a public course. This isn't. This is I
right,
just said
right,
it's
right.
one of the
No,
most
no, no.
exclusive courses.
No, I get that. No, I get that. I get that.
But if it plays a lot, like there's literally that hole where where Tiger hit the famous three wood that passes Phil.
Yeah.
I forget what number that is, but they have that. They have
No way.
the amen. They got the amens crossing, area for the par three. Um, all that stuff, dude. Like it's
That's
a legit
insane.
course, but that's one of the hardest courses I've played uh to date still. Like it I mean, it really challenges you. Like you're just like, oh yeah, I want to hit a driver out there and get it out there. And it's like, no, sometimes hitting a three wood and just, taking your poison is way better. You're gonna score better. But yeah, it's a fun track. The hardest thing there is the wind. Because since it's out in Morgan Hill, if you're playing in the afternoon, oh man, that course turns into 8,600 yards real quick.
Really? It's called
Oh
the
yeah,
Institute.
yeah,
Um, that's awesome. I mean, like one thing that also would throw me off at the Masters is the freaking wind in general because you barely feel it when you're standing there, but once the ball gets past the trees, like you see what it does. Um, but one question I do have for you, I saw this really good question earlier, like a few weeks ago, and it was if you had to only putt on, like, if you played in the Masters, if you got somehow were able to play in the Masters, and you had every single one of your tee shots was on the farthest part of the green. So like wherever the hole was doesn't matter. Your ball is like on the closest, the farthest bit it is on the green from the hole every single time, every hole. Would you win the Masters? Does that make sense? So like if the tee or the hole's on the right side, your ball's on the left side of the green on the farthest that it possible can, but you're only putting. That's the only thing you have to do. You're only putting. You're not doing anything on any hole. Do you think that you could win? I think Scotty shot like what 14, 13 under. I think you could do that. I'm like, give me 30 minutes on the practice greens, dude. You only have you can four putt like 10 of these holes, and that puts you at par. And you're telling me on a par five, you can't birdie, you can't make a four putt, a four putt.
I don't know, man.
I mean, it's a
I
good
don't know.
question, right? Like,
It is a good question.
I'm like, I could have put myself in contention. I don't know, how I do really, but I could definitely see myself and give myself a chance.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a really good question. Yeah, I think I could be in contention, but I don't know, man. Like even some of the talks people are just you just don't understand how fast these greens are. And also when you're looking at the backswing on some of these guys when they were putting, it was so minimal. It was just like short and then go. And that ball was going
Yeah.
30 feet. And I'm thinking, dude, that's like me putting from like the corner of my desk to like the other corner with
Hmm.
thinking like I want to go with dying speed and it's still going that far.
Dude, it is
Yeah.
insane. Like, yeah. But yeah, I was just thinking about that. And one thing I do want to talk about before we wrap up the podcast is this. Did you hear, I think it was last week, about Miles Russell, the 15-year-old who was the
Hmm.
first 15 or teenager or whatever to make a professional cut on the Corn Ferry tour. I think like 2 weeks ago he
Yeah.
shot like 3 under, and then
Hmm.
like this kid's a lefty, man. He is just absolutely killing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw a lot of that today.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, with his record breaking performance they were talking about. Um, but yeah, man, hey, when things are going good, things are going good, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah, he posted a 66 or a 68 and a 66 through 30 through 38 holes or 36 holes.
Yeah. Imagine doing that and then like going back to like history class at 8 a.m. on Monday. Like, freaking
Yeah, I
peasants.
know. I know, right? I know, dude, that's gotta be such a weird feeling.
Like
Like
his
I
high
just
school golf coach is like, no, I need you, please. You make my life so
yeah,
easy.
yeah, literally. No, I was actually thinking like I remember playing big baseball tournaments where, you'd have to go to like Vegas for the weekend, right?
Hmm.
Then you win it, and then you come back, and everyone's just like, "Oh man, yeah, how'd you do your tournament?" You're like, "Yeah, we won. It's sick." And it's like, "Okay, cool. I guess." No, I didn't do my homework. No, I was at a baseball tournament. My
I got home at 4 in the morning last night. And you're lucky
bad.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Uh, Man. Yeah, or just do you remember just like leaving class? Like I remember
Oh,
for
dude, I
us,
loved game days.
oh,
Yeah.
for us, our fifth period, which was the last period of the day, would be for baseball. That'd be like our PE. So like we had already start early, but like some days we get out like at 1. So it's just like, all right, well, and they have the announcement. See ya.
Hmm.
Gotta go. Baseball. Gotta head on out. And those were
Yeah.
awesome, dude.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
1000%. I remember those. Wear your jersey to school day, and there was always that one guy who would like get the pizza and spill food on his jersey. Like
Dude, I had a
always
kid
that guy.
once. I had a kid on our team, and we're heading to Santa Maria for one of our games. I think I forget who we're playing against, but like we're on the bus and we're like, "Where's Sam?" It's like, "What? Where's Sam?" It's like, "Oh, it's like our starting third baseman." Like, he's at school. I don't. Is he not on the bus? It's like, "Oh crap, dude. Okay, someone text him." Then we texted him. He's
Yeah.
like, and then he found out from one of his friends, like, "Don't you have a game today?" I was, "Yeah." Weren't you supposed to like go to get out. He's like, "Oh crap, what time is it?" He just like ended up just driving there on his own.
Yeah.
You're a freaking idiot.
That's hilarious.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, dude, the Masters. I think it really. I enjoyed watching it this year. It was really entertaining. The wind
Hmm.
was pretty cool to watch as well. I think it's up to like 43-mile-an-hour gusts in like round 1 and
Wow.
2. It was crazy, and like you could just. Oh, that would make it so hard, dude. Oh, but got the RBC Heritage this week or this weekend. It's going to finish up by the time this podcast gets released. And then Live Australia, we'll be talking about next week. That'll be sick to see how that ends up going about. And yeah, anything else you want to touch about the Masters or?
Nah, man.
Oh,
Just
that's it.
yeah. I mean, again, it was a really impressive weekend. I mean, I feel like Masters Week should be like a vacation for everyone.
It pretty much is. Well, just
Yeah.
bosses don't nail it. Whether they're just letting us, get paid while watching it instead of having to take vacation time. Mad respect.
Yeah. 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 That's for sure.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in and supporting us. And if you haven't already, check us out on YouTube. We're up to just over 725 subs, trying to get to that 1,000 number so we can hopefully get monetized and hopefully pay for some sick trips in the future. Long time in the future, but that'd be cool if something happens. But don't forget to stay fly and go low. And we'll see you guys. You'll probably see our next podcast on Thursday. So take care, everybody.